You sat there again. Phone in hand. A list in your head. A plan that once felt clear. And still, you did not move. You told yourself, one more scroll. One more breath. One more second to just feel ready. But ready never came. The energy you thought would ignite stayed quiet. The spark you waited for never lit. And the voice returned. The one that whispers, maybe later. Maybe when it feels right. Maybe tomorrow. But here is the truth. You are not lacking motivation. You are addicted to comfort. You are not tired. You are stuck in the cycle of passive waiting. You want momentum, but you forgot how it starts. It does not arrive as a wave. It does not drop from the sky. It is forced. It is forged. It is summoned by action, not by inspiration. You wait for motion to feel natural. But motion is never natural. In the first second, it is chosen. And that choice is not about clarity, not about energy, not even about belief. It is about control. Because when you move without motivation, you take back the reins. You stop being a passenger. And you start becoming a builder. Think back to the last time you felt proud. Not happy. Not excited. Proud. Chances are, it came after something hard. Something you didn't want to do. Something that required a push. Not a pull. That is momentum. And you created it. Not because you were ready, but because you moved anyway. And now, you must learn to do it again. You do not need a full plan. You do not need perfect clarity. You need a tiny push. Stand up. Pick one task. Cut it in half. Then cut it again. Make it so small that the excuse cannot survive. Then begin. Not with intensity. Not with fireworks. Just with presence. You take one step, and the mind follows. You shift the body, and the energy changes. Not because motivation returned, but because motion unlocked it. This is the formula. You wait, you stall. You act, you awaken. It has always been this way. But you forgot. You let the world convince you that discipline is cruel. That effort must feel light. That passion is required to begin. But none of that is real. What is real is this. When you move, the mind wakes up. When you act, the emotion catches up. When you step, the path reveals itself. You will not feel like it. You will not want to. But you will do it anyway. Because that is who you choose to become. Not the person who waits. Not the person who watches. But the one who builds, while others dream. So today, you will not wait for motivation. You will become motion itself. Start now. Pick the action. Shrink it. Begin it. Do not evaluate. Do not negotiate. Just move. And let the momentum follow. You believed. Motivation was a force. Something that floods your body. Something that lifts you off the couch. Something loud. But it never was. Motivation is not a cause. It is a consequence. Of motion. Of rhythm. Of momentum. You think you feel motivated. But really, you just feel traction. Something moved. So your mind followed. Something clicked. So your energy responded. And here lies the secret. You do not need to feel it. You need to build it. But how? The same way you light a fire. You start small. You gather sparks. You strike the flint. You blow gently. You shield it from the wind. And you wait. And then, flame. Your behavior works the same way. When you move your hand to write one sentence, you feel it. When you open the app to begin a task, you feel it. When you put on your shoes and stand by the door, you feel it. Not because you became motivated, but because you showed your body what comes next. And your body remembers. Your nervous system does not need drama. It needs rhythm. And rhythm is formed by repetition, by signals, by micro-rituals. So build one. Build the ritual that tells your brain it is time to begin. Maybe it is a deep breath, a hand on the desk, a line in a notebook, a sip of water, a light switch flipped. Whatever it is, make it small. Make it sacred. Repeat it without question. Because ritual becomes anchor. And anchor becomes identity. You will think it is silly. You will think it is not enough. But do it anyway. Because soon, that ritual will speak louder than your excuses. And each time you do it, your brain will feel ready, even if you are not. That is the illusion. You are not more motivated. You are just less confused. You are not suddenly inspired. You are just in motion. And that motion is enough to unlock the door. So stop chasing intensity. Chase frequency. Show up. Even when small. Even when soft. Even when doubtful. Because small, repeated, consistent, beats loud, rare, and explosive. This is how real builders move. They do not wait for lightning. They build circuits. They charge themselves with rhythm. And that rhythm is yours to design. So design it. Pick the smallest version of your highest task and repeat it until the excuse dies. Then repeat it again. Not to impress, not to perform, but to remember. You are not here to feel ready. You are here to move until readiness becomes irrelevant. Your mind does not believe what you tell it. It believes what it sees. You can affirm all day. You can repeat mantras. You can visualize success. But if your behavior contradicts your words, the brain will choose what you do, not what you say. This is why motivation dies. You keep talking about what you want, but your life shows none of it. So your brain concludes, it must not be true. And the longer that loop runs, the deeper the doubt grows. But here is the key. You do not need to change your belief first. You need to give your brain a reason to believe. Not with promises, not with dreams, but with visual evidence. You must show yourself who you are becoming. Not just think it, not just wish it. See it, touch it, track it. And it starts with one move, one cue, one sign. Make your progress visible, so you cannot deny it. If you read, underline the page. If you write, stack the notebooks. If you train, mark the wall. Create streaks. Make the line longer. Make the pile taller. Make the silence louder. Let your environment whisper back to you. You are the type of person who follows through. Because when your surroundings reflect the identity you want, your brain stops fighting. It stops asking, is this real? It starts assuming, this is who we are now. And that assumption becomes momentum. You will move, because it would feel strange not to. You will continue, because your brain has seen too much to quit. But it begins with one page, one rep, one choice, repeated in public, where your eyes cannot ignore it. The reason you stop is not because you are weak. It is because you forget. You forget who you said you were. You forget what you have done. You forget that you already began. So never let your work stay hidden. Make it seen. By you. For you. Every day. Not to impress, but to confirm. You are not pretending. You are practicing. You are not wishing. You are wiring. You are not waiting. You are becoming. And soon, you will no longer need to convince yourself. You will look around. At the walls. The tools. The notebooks. The proof. And you will remember. This is real. Because you made it real. You feel slow. You feel behind. You watch others move. And you wonder, why is it taking you so long? You want to rush. You want to catch up. But rushing breaks rhythm. And panic kills patience. So you pause. And then doubt creeps in. You think, maybe I am not built for this. Maybe this progress is too small. Maybe it does not count. But there is someone watching. Someone you forgot. Your future self. They are not disappointed. They are not rushing you. They are whispering. Keep going. They remember this moment. This exact season. When it felt like nothing was working. When no one was clapping. When no result had arrived. And still, you moved. That is the moment they remember. Not the victory. Not the number. Not the finish line. But this. The quiet grind. The invisible step. The choice to keep going. You see slowness. They see discipline. You see doubt. They see transformation. Because speed was never the goal. Trajectory was. And you are still aiming. You are still climbing. You are still becoming. So stop measuring the day by how fast you moved. Measure it by how often you refuse to quit. That is the real scale. That is the data that counts. And if you forget, use this question. Right now. Right here. Ask it. What will my future self thank me for doing today? Not what feels urgent. Not what looks impressive. What will be remembered as the moment that turned the tide. Then do it. Even if it is small. Especially if it is boring. Especially if no one sees it. Because the future always sees. The seed in the dirt. The note in the journal. The rep in the dark. The decision no one claps for. It all counts. And it all compounds. This is how confidence returns. Not through outcomes, but through alignment. You are walking in the direction of the version of you that already exists. And every move, every choice, is how you meet them. So write this. On paper. On your mirror. On your phone. My future self is proud of what I did today. Then prove it. Pick the action. Pick the moment. And begin. You will feel doubt. You will hear delay. But you will also feel a deeper voice, a steadier tone, the part of you that already knows. This is not the end. This is the build. You are not behind. You are early. You are not small. You are precise. You are not lost. You are learning. And every brick you lay, invisible as it feels, is the foundation of something irreversible. So stop asking if it is working. Ask if it is aligned. And stop asking if it is enough. Ask if it is consistent. Because the future version of you is not measuring speed. They are measuring loyalty to your own path, to your own process, to your own pace. Stay loyal. Stay moving. Stay small if needed. Stay hidden if required. But do not stop. Because one day, you will stand where they are. Look back at today. And whisper, that was the day it all turned. And you will smile. Because you knew it. Even when no one else did. You want to act. But you keep thinking. You overanalyze. You hesitate. You weigh. You delay. And by the time you decide, the window is gone. The fire has faded. The impulse is cold. This is why you need a system, not a decision. Because when you are tired, when you are stressed, when your mind is fogged, you cannot rely on choice. You must rely on design. That is how momentum is protected. Not by willpower, but by wiring. You do not need more effort. You need fewer options. Remove the friction. Remove the debate. Remove the door. Only motion. That is what a launch system does. It replaces motivation with automation. And here is how you build one. First, pick one trigger, one physical object, or one timestamp. That begins the chain. It could be your alarm, a glass of water, a stretch, a written phrase. Make it visible. Make it non-negotiable. Make it daily. Then, attach the first motion, the simplest motion, the smallest possible action, the one that makes all others easier. It could be, open your notebook, open your laptop, sit in the chair, stand in the hallway, put on your shoes. Make it specific. Make it mindless. Make it impossible to misinterpret. Then, practice it. Even on days you do nothing else. Even if you stop after 1 minute. Even if your mind protests. Do it anyway. This is the core of a real system. It is not about results. It is about rhythm. Because rhythm beats resistance. And over time, this tiny ritual becomes sacred. Your brain will learn. When this happens, we begin. Not maybe. Not sometimes. Every time. And this reliability becomes identity. You stop being the person who waits for energy. You become the one who launches without permission. That is power. But it only works if you remove the loopholes. No skipping. No rethinking. No emotion check. If the clock says 7, you move. If the object is touched, you move. No negotiations. This is the rule. This is the law. This is how you win. You will not feel heroic. You will not feel motivated. You will feel mechanical. Perfect. Because the enemy of momentum is hesitation. And hesitation hides inside thinking. Kill the thinking. Build the action. Soon, the system will move faster than doubt. And you will stop asking, "Am I ready?" Because you already moved. That is momentum. There will be days when everything crashes. You wake up, and the weight is already on your chest. You do not want to move. You do not want to speak. You do not want to face the thing. The reason does not matter. What matters is how you respond. Because in that moment, your brain offers you two roads. 1. Let it spiral. 2. Reclaim control. Most choose the first. They sink deeper. They wait for it to pass. They hope motivation will return. But you are here to learn the second. The 3-step shift. That turns collapse into momentum. No drama. No deep explanation. Just action. Step 1. Interrupt the loop. When your mind begins to stack the complaints, to replay the disappointments, to forecast more failure, stop it. Out loud if needed. With a whisper if required. Say, "Not now." Put your feet on the floor. Feel something physical. Tap the table. Touch the wall. Clap your hands. Anything that anchors you to this moment, this second, this place. You are not your thought. You are your movement. Now, step 2. Name one neutral task. Not a goal. Not a dream. Not a burden. A task. Something so simple. So physical. So manageable. That your system cannot reject it. Like pouring water. Washing a plate. Stretching your spine. Brushing your teeth. Opening your laptop. Name it. And do it. Immediately. Without discussion. Without delay. This is not your day's work. This is your ignition. It is how you tell your body, "We still move. Even now." Step 3. Write one win. From yesterday. Not a fantasy. A fact. You showed up. You handled it. You didn't quit. Write it down. See the evidence. Remind your brain that progress still exists. Because doubt is loud. But evidence is louder. That's it. 3 steps. Interrupt. Act. Recall. You do not need to fix the day. You need to reclaim the first 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes can break the spiral or build the staircase. You choose. Not with feelings, but with response. You will still feel heavy. You will still hear the noise. But you will not be ruled by it. Because you moved. And movement kills chaos. Now, make this a habit. Train this so deeply that when emotion surges, your body already knows. Interrupt. Act. Recall. It becomes your code, your shield, your override button. And over time, it becomes who you are. You become the one who responds with motion, not meltdown. Who remembers the mission? Not the mood. Who moves? Even when everything tries to make you stop. That is the shift. That is momentum. There will be mornings where you wake up blank. Not tired. Not broken. Just empty. No spark. No hate. No urge. Only weight. The weight of nothingness. The weight of apathy. The weight of what's the point? You stare at your list. You know the moves. But nothing inside responds. This is the real test. Not the hard days. Not the busy days. But the hollow ones. When nothing is wrong. But nothing is right. When no excuse exists. But no fire burns. This is where most people vanish. Not in a blaze. But in a fade. They disappear quietly. No post. No drama. Just silence. But you will not vanish. Because you will have a plan. A script. A default mode. Your backup. For when you feel nothing. And here it is. Step 1. Pre-write a version of your routine. At 30% power. The full version might be: write for 60 minutes. Train for 45. Plan the entire week. Read 20 pages. The backup version becomes: write 5 sentences. Stretch for 3 minutes. Review today's calendar. Read 1 paragraph. That is it. Not because that is all you can do, but because that is all you commit to. Minimum motion. Maximum consistency. Because systems should survive storms. And blankness is a storm too. Step 2. Create a backup ritual object. Something your hand can hold. That means we start now. It could be a bracelet, a key, a coin, a card. You touch it. You flip it. You move it. And your brain associates it with action. No debate. No wait. Just start. This bypasses emotion. It activates memory. It turns ritual into momentum. Step 3. Set one rule. That never changes. Even at 0%. It could be: I always write 1 sentence. I always walk 5 steps. I always open the page. One behavior. So small. So constant. That your identity never breaks. Because on the days you feel nothing, the goal is not to win. The goal is not to rise. The goal is: don't break the chain. Just hold the thread. Just keep the rhythm. Just stay alive inside the habit. Because even 1 breath is enough to keep the fire from dying. And when the light returns, when the spark comes back, you will not need to restart. You will already be in motion. That is the secret. You do not rise from the dead. You stay half alive, even through the void. Because you prepared. Because you planned. Because you decided. And that decision becomes the bridge from numb to motion. So write your backup now. Before the fog comes. Before the silence hits. Before the weight returns. Decide: what will I do when I feel nothing? Write it. Practice it. Trust it. And when that day comes, you will still move. You will still build. You will still win. Quietly. Calmly. Without applause. Because even at your lowest, you had a system. And that system never failed. You work. You show up. You push. But sometimes, you still wonder, is this going anywhere? Does this even matter? Why do I still feel stuck? It is not the work that is missing. It is the evidence. Because your brain is wired to believe what it sees. And if it cannot see progress, it forgets progress exists. That is why you need a system of visible proof. You need to track your momentum, not just your outcome. You need to see your effort grow into something you can hold. Because when you forget what you did, you begin to believe you never did it. And that kills drive. So here is what you do. Start a momentum log. Not a journal. Not a diary. A momentum log. A single page. A single list. That answers one question. What did I move today? Not what you finished. Not what you perfected. What you moved. It could be: wrote 200 words. Took one sales call. Researched one tool. Walked for 10 minutes. Edited one paragraph. Write it down. Every single day. Without exception. Then, once a week, review the list. Highlight the days you almost skipped. Circle the days you still moved anyway. That is your power. The streaks. The near misses. The evidence that you refuse to disappear. Now, add symbols. Create a code. That makes the log speak. A check means completed. A triangle means in motion. A star means hard to do. Use color if needed. Use stickers. Use tally marks. Make it visceral. Make it visible. Make it loud. So when you open that page, you feel your own force. You remember that you did not wait. You did not hope. You acted. And even small actions, tracked and multiplied, become a legacy. Because momentum is fragile when left in your head. But it becomes a structure when placed on paper. Now, elevate it. Add reflections. Once a week. Ask, what did I repeat? What felt easier? What created energy? What drained it? Keep it simple. One sentence answers. But consistent. Over time, you will notice patterns. You will see that the same task that once scared you now feels automatic. That is transformation. You did not feel it day by day, but now you can see it week by week. That is belief. And belief builds speed. You will stop asking, is it working? You will know. Because the page shows you. And that page becomes a mirror. A mirror that says, you are moving. You are building. You are becoming. Even when it feels invisible. So build your log. Place it somewhere you see daily. Make it sacred. Make it yours. This is not for social. This is not for show. This is for you. To remember that your momentum is alive. And when doubt comes, when fog returns, you will open that page. And it will whisper. You do not need to believe. You only need to continue. Because your effort has already made you real. You want to start. But your brain interrupts. What if it is not good enough? What if I do it wrong? What if I am not ready? And so, you stall. You revise the plan. You check your mood. You scroll for answers. And in that hesitation, momentum dies. Not from a lack of energy, but from a lack of movement. You confuse clarity with readiness. You wait for alignment before acting. But here is the truth. Action is alignment. Action is the signal. That tells your brain, we are in motion now. So how do you escape? The trap of waiting. You build a system where motion comes first. You rewire your decision-making to prioritize movement, not mood. Here is the shift. Old model. Feel right, think more, active, perfect. New model. Act small, feel engaged, think clearer. This new model saves your momentum because it does not wait for motivation. It does not chase the perfect idea. It begins with movement, even sloppy, even half right, even unsure, especially unsure, because motion creates data, creates feedback, creates clarity. Thinking without motion creates fear. Now, build your system. Step 1. Write this rule. No action is ever wasted if it moves me forward. Put it where you see it. Every day. Repeat it until your brain knows it without asking. Then, step 2. Set a default motion. Something you always return to. When you get stuck. When you overthink. When you spiral. Like opening the notebook. Saying the idea out loud. Writing the first sentence. Walking to your work zone. Clicking record. Make it so clear that no version of you can misunderstand it. This is your anchor. This is how you override delay. Then, step 3. Set a motion-only timer. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Where the only goal is to move. Not to complete. Not to win. Just to build frictionless action. No edits. No pauses. No checks. You move. And you trust. That clarity comes after. Because it always does. You will feel resistance. You will feel exposed. But you will also feel momentum. Because even imperfect action generates force. And that force becomes your engine. You are not building perfection. You are building power. Perfection can wait. Power cannot. So from now on, when the urge to wait appears, ask one question. What would the version of me who is in motion do right now? Then do that. Not because it feels safe, but because it is how you escape the loop. That is your new reflex. Not perfection, but propulsion. And over time, that becomes identity. You become the one who acts, the one who begins, the one who builds clarity by doing. And in that repetition, you kill the myth of readiness. You replace it with rhythm. You replace it with momentum. You finish the day, and you feel it. That glow, that motion, that quiet fire inside. You showed up. You created. You fought through resistance. But then, sleep comes, and the thread is gone. You wake up, and it feels like starting over. The fire is cold. The energy is hidden. The weight has returned. You forget how powerful you were just hours ago. This is the gap that kills momentum. Not failure, but forgetting. Not defeat, but reset. So how do you fix it? You build a memory bridge. You create a system that lets you carry yesterday's effort into today's ignition, not just as a feeling, but as a tool. Here is how you do it. Step 1. At the end of every day, before you shut down, before you scroll, before you vanish, write one sentence. What did I move today? Not how you felt. Not what you dreamed. But what you moved. Be specific. Be small. Be clear. I wrote 2 paragraphs. I recorded for 9 minutes. I sent the proposal. I planned the morning. That sentence is your evidence. Then, write one more. What will I move first tomorrow? It could be, I will open the project file. I will write the first line. I will walk to the desk. I will start the timer. Now, you have a plan. Not a hope. A trigger. Not a guess. Step 2. Leave yourself a trace. Physical. A sticky note. An open page. A pen in position. An object in the chair. Something your eyes will see. And your brain will remember. This is how we move. Not from zero, but from continuity. Step 3. Create a morning reflection. When you begin the next day, before checking anything, before doing anything else, read the sentence you wrote. Feel the connection. Touch the momentum. Recall the fire. Then, act. Not big. Not bold. Just begin. One movement. From yesterday to now. This is your bridge. You are not starting over. You are continuing. You are not cold. You are kindling. This mindset protects you from the lie of reset. Because the truth is, you are not building from scratch. You are stacking effort. And every day, that stack gets taller. That memory gets deeper. That momentum gets faster. You become the person who never lets progress evaporate. You become the one who moves. Because motion is identity. So build your system. Write the sentence. Leave the trace. Read the line. Take the step. It takes minutes. But it saves hours. It saves belief. It saves your future. Because you will never again have to wonder, am I doing enough? You will know. You are continuing. And that is how momentum lives. The first move of your day defines the shape of everything after. It tells your mind what kind of day this will be. Hesitant or decisive, passive or powerful. If your first action is random, so is your momentum. But if your first move is structured, rhythmic, intentional, then everything that follows becomes easier. This is not about a long routine, not about hours of planning. It is about one thing, a ritual, a trigger, so consistent that your brain connects it to action. Think of it like a launch code, a motion that says, now we go. So here is how you build it. Step 1. Choose one micro-action. That will start every single day. No matter how tired. No matter how late. No matter how distracted. It must be short. It must be physical. It must be repeatable. It could be: open your notebook. Place your hands on the keyboard. Light a candle. Stretch your arms overhead. Touch the task card. It is not the task itself. It is the signal. This is the start. Now. Step 2. Pair it with a phrase. Out loud. Or silently. But always the same. You could say, "We begin now. This is the day. Move first. Action beats thought. Let's work." One phrase. One move. One ignition. This pairs your body with your voice, with your brain. It creates a loop. A command loop. Then, step 3. Repeat it daily. Even on weekends. Even on off days. Because this ritual is not about the work. It is about identity. You are the person who begins with motion. Not mood. Not noise. Not checking. Not waiting. Just motion. You are training your system to obey this signal, so that one day, even when you doubt everything, you will still move. Because ritual overrides resistance. The body remembers, even when the mind forgets. And once that ritual is in place, you do not have to motivate yourself. You only have to begin. No internal speech. No negotiation. Just touch the cue. Say the line. Start the act. Over time, this becomes automatic. It becomes sacred. It becomes unstoppable. People think productivity is about tools and apps and hacks. But the truth is, it begins with the first minute. And that minute can be yours every day. If you claim it. If you protect it. If you repeat it. So now, ask yourself, what is my first move? What is my trigger? What is my phrase? Write it. Practice it. Use it. Even if you do nothing else. You start. And the start is enough. Because momentum does not need perfection. It needs ignition. And you now have it. Everyone talks about the morning. But few understand that tomorrow begins tonight. The final seconds of your day are a key, a lever, a match, a portal. And if you close the day correctly, you launch into the next one with speed. But if you end without intention, you start the next day dragging weight, the weight of incompletion, the weight of confusion, the weight of questions unanswered. So here is the truth. You cannot afford to let your day fade. You must end it with precision, with fire, with rhythm. So here is how. Step 1. Close with action. Pick one final movement that signals the system is complete. It could be logging your final task, writing your one move for tomorrow, placing your tools in exact position, checking your streak on the momentum log. Small, fast, concrete. This becomes your closure ritual. Not Netflix, not scrolling, not crashing, but claiming that this day was done. with power. Step 2. Write your ignition phrase. Just one sentence. For tomorrow. I will begin by moving this. I will open this file. I will write this line. I will walk this path. It must be clear. It must be actionable. It must be yours. This sentence is your bridge, your carryover, your fuse. Step 3. Feel the fire. Before sleep, stand still. Close your eyes. Replay what you did. Feel the work, the effort, the survival. Say this: I built today. I rise again tomorrow. Nothing is wasted. Everything stacks. This final moment is not fluff. It is a program, a signal to your nervous system that we are not wandering. We are creating. And when you wake, that programming returns. Before doubt, before noise, before delay, you will already be aligned. Not because you are perfect, but because you closed the day with intention. You did not leave it to chance. You claimed it. You ritualized it. And this makes you different. Most people collapse into the evening. You ignite the morning before it even comes. Because momentum is not just built in the morning. It is protected at night. So build your ritual. 3 parts. Simple, tight, powerful. Final motion. Written ignition. Reflection phrase. It takes 2 minutes, but it changes the way you enter the next day. From scattered to sharp. From hoping to hitting. From lost to launched. And when this becomes automatic, you will not fear off days. You will not fear motivation loss. You will not fear chaos. Because you have a closing system. And systems survive storms. This is how you win. Not with noise, but with rhythm. Not once, but daily. Not in fire, but in friction. Because friction is fire in disguise. And now, you have it. Every night, every day, forever.